paid them well.
We did pay them well. Now, Tina, we've got to get the inevitable question out of the way first. The young Talentine days, were they great days or did you feel like a doofus?
No, they were actually really a lot of fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Even that close your eyes, all that stuff?
Sort of, when I got to sort of 16, it was a little bit tiring. It was a little bit, I'm really sick of this Beatles song.
Yeah, yeah. Could you have done another one? Why don't we do it in the road? Something like that?
I often ask that question, but it was never answered.
I wonder why. Actually, it does. What was it like backstage at Young Talent Time? Were you wild and raunchy, or was it sort of like the Vienna Person's Choir? What was it?
No, it was definitely not the Vienna sort of girls or boys choir.
Yeah.
It was pretty raucous at times,
Really?
We'd sort of brawl occasionally, and, a couple of them would, secretly pash on, and there were a couple of love affairs, but not much. No, it was actually pretty good, really.
What would you brawl about? Sort of, would Jamie Redfern be upset at who crashed his purple velour pants?
Jamie was a little bit before my time, Andrew.
Oh, was he? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Well, that's what you were going to do?
Not really. I mean, I always knew I wanted to entertain, but I think I had to grow up. I really had to get to know myself.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I went
That sounds
away
all very mystic and transcendental. How did you get to know yourself?
I went to school and just was a normal kid and hung out with my friends and had a really good time, and then did gigs and lots of stuff like that, and sessions, and toured with Lionel Richie and lots of stuff like that.
Please.
Of course, only musical sessions.
You toured with Lionel Richie. Now, I could be wrong here, I could be too opinionated. Is he the most boring man in all rock and roll history? Dancing on the ceiling?
Yeah, what I'd have to say is a little passé now, yeah.
He was then, at the height of his career. A lot of singers are a great voice in the studio, but not out of the studio. Do you have a great big voice? Do you possess a great big voice?
Well, I actually don't like my voice in the studio.
Don't you?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just not the same.
What's the difference?
Oh, it just feels a little contrived. It feels a little bit like it's just not got a completely different vibe.
Well, I don't want you to sing the whole song now, but what does your voice sound like in this situation? A studio? No, in
a live situation?
Yeah, it is for that note.
I'm in chains, yeah.
Pretty good. So, a lot of the songs on this album, was that by choice?
Yeah, it was definitely a choice of mine. It was a goal I've had for many years.
But don't songwriters, aren't you offered songs all the time?
I was offered a lot of songs, but I was never really offered anything that really kind of sold me. So I basically was almost compelled to write my own material because I was given a lot of sort of B sort of and C sort of stuff.
Is that because of the old Young Talent
Absolutely.
Time? Really?
Absolutely.
People were just thinking, oh, a bit of a dad.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not really looking at the basic fundamentals, though. We're looking at the whole picture and didn't like what they saw. So, but that's cool, I mean, I don't really have a problem with that because that's their job. They were doing their job, and that's fine, and that's what they thought was best at the time. So I don't have a problem with that at all.
Where do you start, though, when you first decide I'm going to write a song? Does this music pour out of your head?
It's really difficult to explain. Sometimes you may have a melody idea that comes into your head. Sometimes you have a lyrical idea. I've been known to, on occasions, wake up in the middle of the night. I dream songs. I do all sorts of things. I could be sitting on the toilet seat doing number twos and I just thought I'd feed you that line.
I'm just wondering which song on here might be... See, that's the way a woman feels, that one, yeah.
Well, I'll pay that.
You know how we have to end this interview, don't you?
No, I don't.
It's inevitable. 2, 3. Close your eyes. I wouldn't kiss you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tina Arena.